What's poppin', everybody? I'm Mike.
I'm Brian.
And this is Hoopin' with Mike and Brian. And welcome back, everybody. I know we've been gone. I know it's been a full week. We were on spring break. We were dealing with, just our regular outside activities outside the podcast. We were enjoying our spring break. Brian, how was your spring break, my guy?
Hey, man, it was great. I'm sure people saw on my social medias, but I had the opportunity to go to Kansas City for the Big 12 tournament to work the color commentary, so that was a blessing. Went with my good friend Tanner Lambert and Luke Blaine. So that was great. Got to go to all the games. Got to call the games, which was just an amazing experience. That was the week before spring break, and then from there, I went home. I was telling Mike how crazy my travel life was. Just flights. Like I had to wake up at 2:45 a.m. on 2 Saturdays ago to go from Kansas City to Phoenix, then from Phoenix to Pittsburgh, then go from Pittsburgh to Morgantown, then from Morgantown to Columbus, and then fly out of Columbus the next morning. So it was just a lot of traveling, but it was a great experience. It was definitely worth all that travel. And then my break was cool. I just, shout out to Films by AD. I almost forgot. Follow our socials at hoopin.mb on Instagram, on TikTok, the same username. On Twitter, we're at hoopin_MB. And on YouTube, we're at Hoopin with Mike and Brian. But, in terms of my spring break, just kicked it back with the fam, hung out with my friends. Shout out to Andre. Make sure you follow Films by AD, our content editor. So, yeah, I was just kicking it back, chilling, not doing much, just catching up on sleep, catching up on, physical activities. But what about you, Mike? How was that break?
Well, no, before I talk,
I
had a surprise for you. I was trying to pay attention a lot, but I wanted you to go a little bit in depth on what happened. But I recorded this because I'm a big supporter of you, my guy. You're my guy and everything. I support him. But this is a little something that I recorded when my guy was out there doing his commentating and everything. So everybody take a tune in.
And we're seeing Isis Bay come into the game for the first time today, Tanner. So it's definitely, the final stretch of the season, she's been huge for this team. She's provided a spark off the bench, so it's going to be interesting to see how she does with this physicality that Oklahoma State's really portraying in the first 8 minutes of this one. Danny Nichols checks in as well, man.
Hey, that was me, man. I appreciate it.
Nice little feature of Tanner Lambert as well, so shout out to Tanner.
I appreciate you tuning in, Mike. Means the world.
Nah, man, I was trying to pay attention so much, man. When the games were going on, I saw you posting, I was like, where can I listen to my guy?
The problem was the men's game, they were only on locally, not even on the website. I had to have an actual radio for the men's games.
Yeah, see, I was trying to. I was deep diving in almost every
I didn't know.
app.
They told me that kind of, but I didn't really understand what that meant, what they were saying. So I thought it could work on the website if you could score, but apparently you couldn't. I found that out after. So apologies for the miscommunication, but I appreciate you tuning in, Mike. It was
Tell me, I want to know with the men's, man. What did you see? What was the environment? How was it setting up? Did you see some dope people? Did you see some celebs? Did you see maybe some NBA players coming out to support their alma mater, or even guys that they paid attention? How was it, man?
Well, it was just a great experience. As I said before, but it was really cool because we got to go to all the games, obviously for free, but go to all the games, all the press conferences. So I was right by Bob Huggins, right by the West Virginia players, but even the other teams like Kansas, I saw Grady Dick, Jalen Wilson, those guys. Keontae Johnson, Marquise Noel, just a bunch of guys I saw, which was really dope. Actually, it's kind of unfortunate because Shaq was there Saturday, and we flew out that Saturday. Dang. So if the women's team won, unfortunately they didn't win, but if they won, we would have had an opportunity to see Shaq. In terms of seeing celebrities, we didn't run into any, but there was just the big name college players, which was dope. I saw them I was in their press conferences. I wanted
big names that could go to the NBA.
Yeah, Grady Dick, great Jalen Wilson. I keep saying those names, but those are guys who are gonna hear their names called. So that was really cool, and to see their personalities too in the locker room, because we got our locker room access too, which was nice. Yeah. They're all really really cool guys. Respect the media, so that was really nice of them.
Thanks. So you got to go into the locker room with Kansas, West Virginia, dude. Yeah. It was awesome.
It was sick. And they also they take good care of the media. We got obviously they gave us free food all day, free drinks. You got to drink anytime. Yeah. It's not like you're on vacation. It's not like you can just go there, kick it back, and watch games. But after the West Virginia games, me and the guys I was with, we would stay for the other games, watch a couple of them. So that was really fun. It was actually cool because the first full day we were there, we woke up, we had to go get our media credentials or whatnot. So we went to this bagel store in downtown Kansas City, and we walk in, and it was all West Virginia fans just I don't know if it was a big group or just different families, but everyone was just a West Virginia fan. Like all had West Virginia gear on, so that was really cool just to see that because in Kansas City.
There we go.
But the games were so much fun. Like the games were really loud too. Like the one fan base that really traveled was Iowa State. Iowa State.
I have a good friend. Shout out to my boy Dalton, but Iowa loves their college. It's almost like how West Virginia is.
Yeah.
I feel like the way Iowa is almost just like how West Virginia is. It's only really
no professional sports.
No professional sport. All they have is like their college sports, but those environments are the best. Because obviously we're here in Morgantown, and the environment here is amazing, especially when it comes to football and basketball. Yeah. You know, baseball too. I haven't gone out. You know, we do U92.
Yeah,
you know,
we do cover that.
We do cover that. So if anyone wants to tune in for baseball, we do that. But our baseball team's legit.
24th in the country now.
24th in the country. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, man. No, I was jealous, man. I'm jealous. My spring break. If I had to get into my spring break, I'm kind of right now on some zero dark 30 stuff. Right now, I'm really kind of in the bushes doing my own thing and just focusing on myself. But I worked a lot, gaining just making money and stuff like that. So I worked. Yeah. But the one exciting thing that I got to do was get to see my cousin Joseph and Julian. Shout out to my family that I love very, very much. They came up. My uncle Theo Joey with my father came up, and they surprised me Friday. Was it Friday or Thursday? I think it was Thursday. Came up, visited me, surprised me at work, and got to hoop with my little cousin.
Where'd you go hoop? At
Student Rec Center.
Oh, you got
Student Rec Center. We got him, and I got a little day pass. They were really nice. It was empty. So shout out to the Student Rec Center. They were able to let us in, and we got to play. We played a little one-on-one. He beat me. You know, I know everyone's gonna be like, "Oh my gosh, your little cousin," but hey, my guy's a hooper, man, and
shout out to your cousin, man.
shout out to Joseph, man. Keep working hard, man. That kid has a lot of adversity to push through, man, and he's doing his best. I keep seeing he sends me a lot of clips of him busting people, man, at the gyms, man. He played. So I don't know how to explain it. So unfortunately, I'm pretty sure he's fine with this because this is something I had to reach through at the same time. But unfortunately, my cousin was cut.
Oh, okay. Was
cut from the team. Had a bad tryout, but he hurt his ankle during tryouts, and that was the thing. Because my cousin's really good, and I've seen he goes to Bishop Moore and down in Florida, which is a big kind of prestigious school down in Orlando and stuff like that. It's very well known, stuff like that. But no, he's gone through a lot, especially, and you know, being cut. You know, I definitely know that feeling, especially with him. And you know, I told him, like, you know, can't give up. You can't let this define who you are. And I told him right now, he's got to, even from that point, I know it was early in the year because high school tryouts are early in the year, but he's been pushing through. Seeing him from then to now, I am a very proud cousin of him. I'm very proud of him. I know he's always kind of looked up to me. I mean, his uncle, my uncle, his dad always told me, you know, he looked up to me a lot, and, you know, with basketball, and, you know, I'm very grateful that I'm very humbled by that, Joseph, and he's always been like just, you know, everything to me at some times because, you know, he always wanted to play sports, man. I remember getting clips of him when he was like 12, 13, and he would go outside, play basketball for hours and like sweat, and he would send me a picture of him just like sweating and stuff like that. So this kid works hard, and he's been working hard so much and everything. So I think next year high school's got to watch out for this kid. High school's better watch out for this kid because this kid is good. He can handle the ball. He can shoot really good. I haven't seen him play in the games in a while. I don't know if his passing's that great, but, you know, I know he's a scorer and he does his thing. So, but shout out to my boy Joseph. I love you, man. And he watches every single episode.
Man. Hey, all part of the journey.
Every single episode, and I love him to death for it.
Respect.
And stuff like that. But I do have, it's probably going to be a little bit of special content. And maybe I'll probably talk with you, Brian and Dre. But I do have, when they did come up and surprise me, I did bring them in the studio. And I got to do a little 30-minute talk with him. We talked basketball. We talked playing. So we'll probably have that on some platforms. Yeah. I don't know. We'll talk about it and see what we're going to do. But, yeah, no, the spring break was, I mean, it was just work and family. And to be honest, that's all I can really ask for at this point. Yeah, and, yeah, no, I'm just looking forward to what's going on now with us, with the podcast and everything, because it's great to be back.
Yeah, it's been a long time. I mean, we were both had a lot going on. I was traveling the country. You had work. You were just taking care of yourself and whatnot. So it was just a lot going on. But we obviously not ideal that we didn't get as much content out the last couple of weeks. But we're gonna make up for it. We got a lot planned. This week, this year coming up. So stay tuned, and it's just great to be back in the stew. It's been, 2-3 weeks, something like that?
No, it's been a week, because I think we did do something. I think we did the 13th episode before we left.
Yeah, that was but
that was like in the beginning of the week, though.
Yeah, so it's been too long.
Yeah, no, it definitely has, and there's been a lot going on. Like the NBA season, there's only 9-10 games left for a lot of these teams now, and we're starting to see playoff races going
scary, man.
Yeah.
I don't know how that's gonna play out.
The East is close though too, because we're looking at it right now, and we're seeing the Celtics clinched and the Bucks clinched, right?
Yeah.
But the Celtics are third and the Sixers are second. So we don't know why that's the case. We did bring it up before. It's maybe a tiebreaker, which is most likely because I brought up a example of a couple years ago when the Heat had the same thing. And Joseph, if you're hearing, you're going to like this. The tiebreaker was with the Magic. I think the Magic got a higher seed than us one of those years because of a tiebreaker. So that might be the thing with the Sixers and Celtics. But tonight, I think I've seen this tweet right here. Tonight, the Philadelphia 76ers are hosting the Bulls. And if they win tonight, they clinch a spot for the NBA playoffs. So that means if we're looking at these standings correct, we are seeing the Sixers are going to be second and the Celtics are going to be third. Brian, how do you feel about this? How do you feel? Do you think they clinch it tonight?
Yeah,
they close it out and they clinch it.
I think obviously regardless, the Sixers are going to make the playoffs. But I think they'll take care of business tonight. I mean, they're on an 8-game win streak, so they're as hot as anybody in the league.
Sure.
As a Knicks fan, I'm not too worried about it just because it looks like I was telling Mike before we got in there, but it looks like all signs are pointing towards the Knicks Cavs 4-5 matchup. I think it's the only question is. Who's going to be home? Unless if the Knicks fall off the last 10 games, which they're on a 3-game win streak right now. So, I mean, I'm not too worried about it. Obviously, if I'm a Knicks fan, I'd rather be the 4 seed. But in terms of that, Mike, I think those 3 teams, it's going to come down to one of those 3 teams to win the East. So, the seeding is very important, especially the 2-3 matchup of the Sixers Celtics because, as I said, home court advantage is huge because just Philly and Boston itself, very tough places to play. And having that one extra home game can definitely make a difference. Yeah. And also, if you're the Heat, I said if I'm a Heat fan, if I was a Heat fan, which obviously I'm not, but if I was a Heat fan, I'd personally rather play the Sixers than the Celtics. Not that there's a huge difference. I just think, Harden's not as scary as he is in the regular season. He's not as scary in the postseason. So you guys have a history of locking up guards in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. So I think if you guys play Philly in the playoffs, I would not be shocked if you guys won that series. I wouldn't be shocked.
That's interesting. Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, appreciate it as a Heat fan. But I mean, I think I explained this a little bit before the pod. But I mean, I'm kind of fine where we're I'm not happy. Probably the best happy about where we're at because I expected us maybe just finish top 4 or top 5 in the NBA, obviously. But things happen, and we've had a lot of things going on with the Heat. I mean, now we're starting. Jimmy's been playing very, very efficient, very efficient. I love that because this is what he does. This is what he does. He starts getting in his role right before playoffs because when playoffs hit, we get playoff Jimmy, and that's what we need right now. And guys are stepping up. The last game that we just played on, I think yesterday. We played yesterday. Yeah, we
played the Pistons.
We played the Pistons, and even though, yes, it's a Pistons, but it was kind of a close game.
Yeah.
Kind of near the end a little bit, but Max Strus started getting hot. I think he made 2 threes in a row and started getting hot. So guys are starting to step up. The guys that I made comments about where I'm just they just need to step up a little bit more. We need this. They're starting to do that, and I like when the Heat start doing that going into the playoffs because then I'm more confident. I'm okay, I know we're a playoff team, and we can keep going. We just have to be prepared when we get in there. But, I mean, I agree with you. I think we would rather play better against the Sixers, but I think due to recent just how the Celtics are performing recently and just certain things going on with them, I wouldn't be too mad if we play them because I'd be if they beat us, it's because of their talent. They have Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Lord, I had a brain fart. I was about to say Marcus Smart, but they have Marcus Smart as well. And Jaylen Brown and all that. I could understand if we lose, it's that star power. They got it. somehow we don't. Somehow I don't know, but yeah, if we play the Sixers, I feel like we could definitely bring it to like a game 6, game 7, 100%. Because like I think beyond Embiid, and then if James Harden's like, okay, I'm finally gonna do my thing, I think beyond them and maybe like Tyrese Maxey, I don't know who else could step up so big in the playoffs. Maybe like Tobias, and I know people are like, oh, what about Tobias? What about this guy? All this, I'm just like, I mean, Tobias is probably the most like one consistent guy, but he's like literally 12 points, 15 points, maybe a 20-point game.
He's gonna get you like 15 every night.
15 every night, which is great, which comes in handy. But like, I mean, when it comes to playoffs, I mean, a lot of things are unpredictable. A lot of things just happen, and I mean, I feel like the way we can play, I mean, Embiid, obviously, we know Embiid's gonna get his thing, and we're gonna talk more about Embiid and stuff like that in a little bit. But Embiid's always gonna get his. Harden, like you said before, we have had a lot of good history.
He's having his best 3-point
shooting. Who, Harden?
I think he's having his best 3-point shooting season like all in his career.
Well, I mean,
which is interesting.
I think it opens up the floor though for him because
there's so much pressure to Embiid. I know so much attention to Embiid, especially in the paint.
Exactly. I mean, I have to. Golly, it's not that I don't like James Harden. I love James Harden. I think it's so crazy that he went from such a scoring role to where he's dropping between 50 to 60 points.
He had like
a game.
60-point triple doubles.
60-point triple doubles, and now he's just like scoring 20, but then he's having like almost 20 assists. I'm like, dang, he's stepping into a pretty awesome role as like just a point. Like he's really becoming a point guard. Really, he's he's just like operating, doing everything. And I love that about him.
But what makes no sense to me, it's kind of like, obviously I'm a Russell Westbrook fan, but it's like guys like, even when Simmons was playing a little bit better, but guys like Simmons, Westbrook, Harden, guys who are very, critiqued by the media. Mm-hmm. It's like everyone's on them, critiquing them when they're doing bad, but when they're doing good, like nobody talks about it. Like Harden, people were questioning Harden because of his terrific.
I think it's just certain faces.
But it's like
something with the media and like certain faces, like James Harden, Russell Westbrook, Kyrie Irving kind of got his own for itself, but like still those three guys, and then you think about like Draymond, you think about like guys that are just. I think it's just. Because hold on, you brought up James. Well, James Harden's not vocal. But you think about the other four; they're very vocal guys. Yeah, like Russell's very vocal. We all know that. Mm-hmm. Bubble. He's starting to yell at.
I saw
whose
that.
brother was he? He's yelling at Rondo's brother.
Yeah, and then he got thrown out. Yeah,
he got thrown out. You have Draymond Green. I mean, he's the most vocal, and we're gonna get into that a lot here in a little bit as well. Sure. And I mean, it's just like. These guys are vocal, and I think that just
it's just not fair.
Everybody paints a bad narrative about these guys, and it's like, why? Well, these guys are pretty.
It's also like
NBA players.
The Lakers have been hooping, which I'm sure we'll get into, but people are like still like blaming. Like, the Lakers have been better since the trade deadline, but I don't think it's as much as losing Russ. I think they just got more depth and more shooting, which is what they need, which they needed at the trade deadline. Like they had to give up. I don't think it's as much as losing Russ. I think it's more of what they got just fits the scheme better. So it's like I see on like comments and Twitter and stuff like. Yeah, like the trading Russ really saved the Lakers season, but like people also forget there's numerous stretches where Russell Westbrook was the best player on the Lakers. When LeBron was hurt and AD was hurt, but like he won them some games or kept them in some games. So it's like guys like I'm not a huge Harden fan. I'm not a huge fan of how he plays, but like this year, I mean, I can't really complain too much. Just in like how he was with the Rockets, I just was never really a fan. Sure. But like the way he's been facilitating the ball, and it's like I kind of like with him and Embiid kind of it reminds me of like Kobe and Shaq a little bit. Like I don't know if they're not at that same success rate or level, but just in terms of play styles, like obviously I mean Harden probably passes the ball a little bit better than Kobe did.
I would almost represent their duo. To be honest, if we got Rockets like Harden with like this Embiid now. Then it'd probably be more like Kobe and Shaq because I think it's just the scoring thing for Harden.
He
doesn't have that right now. It's not that he doesn't have it. He has it in him, but he's kind of taking a little.
And Maxey's kind of taking that scoring role a little bit.
A little bit more because now when he comes in, he knows he's going to get the ball. He's just going to score and stuff like that. But I mean, even with that, the duo that I would almost compare him to. I mean, I would always go. I mean, not to the legend thing, but like almost like John Stockton, Karl Malone, or even Steve Nash with Amari Stoudemire.
Yeah.
Like, James Harden is finding like Amari Stoudemire had a crazy year when he was with the Suns and the Suns with Steve Nash because I mean he was dropping a lot of points, he was going off on a lot of games, he was getting doubles. Amari Stoudemire was a great basketball player. I mean you could maybe second that as well. Because I mean, he was on the Knicks and he had some good years with the Knicks as well. I mean, probably in the beginning before he started getting older.
He was solid. He was definitely.
He was definitely a good veteran playoff player for you guys.
Yeah,
when you guys made the playoffs during those times. But yeah, no, I love this little addition. I do kind of like the role that James Harden kind of has stepped back into. But there has been reports where Joel Embiid was like, dude, do your thing.
Yeah,
like do your thing. Don't. Like, I'm going to get me. Like, I'm going to obviously ask for the ball when I want the ball. Like, I feel like NBA players, like, when they know, all right, like, I'm that dude, or, like, I know, like, but, like, I think this was also great about their relationship, and this is why I think that team is very close now and the chemistry is very clicking now, is that, and they couldn't do that with Ben Simmons. I mean, they made playoffs, but they couldn't do it with Ben Simmons. They couldn't do it with, no, I think they just couldn't really do it with Ben Simmons. Like, that's the only really example I can think of, but they're starting to click because now because I think just the other day I was listening to some interviews and Joel Embiid talking about like the team and stuff like that. But Joel Embiid's all like, when we go into the playoffs, I want James Harden to do his thing. Yeah, because like we're gonna need.
Because they're not gonna win a championship if Harden's being playing not as aggressive and whatnot.
If he's playing, it's not that he's. Well, he is, and at this point he's playing a lot of pass first ball. But like if he steps in that little realm where he was like in the Rockets, stuff like that, like. That would be nuts for them because then they could go. I think the Sixers can go pretty far in the playoffs if they have that duo doing their thing. And I think it's a very special thing. The Sixers are the hottest team right now with 8 wins in a row in the NBA. So I think they have everything good. They just need to just keep going, and then hopefully Harden will step it up. I know he will, and he's gonna start, notching up even more levels when it goes to the playoffs. So I think it's a good thing. But let's get into the West, man. How do you see the West faring out in the playoff picture right now?
Yeah, I mean, I know we looked at it a little bit before we got on air, but it's gonna be interesting how the Warriors do. I believe you said they have 5 more road games.
No, they have 5 more home games and 4 more road games. But as of right now, they are undefeated at home recently, but they're defeated. From away games. Like they haven't even won a single away game, which is just
crazy.
It's kind of sad.
Yeah, and in terms of what I think how the West plays out, I honestly see the Lakers. Obviously, well, there's reports saying now Anthony Davis is playing back-to-backs, and I think LeBron should be coming back relatively soon. They said, maybe for the final stretch. I see the Lakers getting up to that 8 seed. Maybe it's not out of the question to get the 6 seed, but the one matchup, the one team that I'm interested to see how they do in the playoffs is definitely the Kings. As of right now, if they play, the 2-7 matchup obviously depends on how the play-in goes, but they'd be playing the Warriors. I don't know how they would do against the Warriors. But I'm still gonna keep saying I think the Clippers are gonna make a run. I think they're gonna.
They've been doing good pretty.
I think they can make a. I said I wouldn't be shocked if they made the finals, but I think they definitely can make the Western Conference Finals. And I think if you're the Nuggets, Jokic. Well, it's between Jokic and Embiid, which we'll get into. But Jokic is on his way to win his 3rd MVP, possibly, and he still hasn't made a finals. Which it's not all his fault. There's teammates out there, but if he gets his 3rd MVP, this has got to be the year they make the finals. You're the best team in the league record wise, I believe, or no, second best team in the league. I'm sorry, behind the Bucks.
Behind the Bucks, the Bucks are
Bucks
are the Bucks, man.
So. If I were to pick, I think the Grizzlies are going to fall off, obviously, with that Ja Morant situation. Like, right now, if they play the Mavericks.
You think they're going to fall off? I think they've been playing good recently.
They have been, but I think.
You think when Ja Morant comes back, you think it's going to.
I don't know. I just don't know if they play Dallas, I don't know if they beat Dallas.
Really? I feel like they have a chance against
I think
Dallas. If they play the Clippers, I kind of have to side with you. I think if they play someone like the Clippers, I think Clippers have a little bit more.
Yeah, the Grizzlies defensively, I like a lot. Jaren Jackson, I like that. I like him a lot.
He might. I think he's up for DPOY. Yeah, 100%. I think he's number 1 right now in DPOY.
He's the first player to average at least 17 points, and this is an ESPN stat, but he's the first player to average at least 17 points and 3 blocks since Shaq and Alonzo Mourning. So I don't know. I like the Grizzlies defensively. But you just don't know what's going to happen with Ja yet. It looks like he will be back by playoff time. But also, I think the only thing with the Mavericks is Luka's hurt, so they're losing time to figure it out to coincide on the court, and they just I don't know. I think really outside of Luka and Kyrie, I just think it's a second round exit at best. I think they can win a playoff series. I think if they get matched up with the Grizzlies, they can. I think they definitely can win that series if they're 100% healthy.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Suns too. I said it when we came in for the emergency episode where that big trade deadline happened. Like I was not sold on that KD trade, not because of what KD does on the court, but because health wise. And unfortunately, got hurt in warmups, which is unfortunate to see, just as a basketball fan or anybody. Yeah. But like the Suns, I don't know if they're gonna be healthy in the playoffs. You just don't know if they're gonna be healthy. And if they're healthy and they match up with the Clippers, it's gonna be hard for me not to pick the Suns. And I don't know. The West is gonna be fun because all the matchups 1-8, 2-7, they can really. I can see them all going, 6-7 games depending on who matches up where. Like a Nuggets Lakers first round would be fun to watch. So those are my thoughts on it, Mike. But yeah, let me hear what you think about what's gonna happen in the West.
I mean, in the West, I feel like everything's gonna kind of. I mean, they're very, very close right now when it comes to the play-in guys and maybe going around like the fourth and fifth seed, like not the fourth, fifth seed, like the fifth and sixth seed are still kind of up for grabs with how many games are left. I think also the Suns could possibly drop. So the West is very, very close right now, where it's like a lot could happen in these next 9 to 10 games, and I still can't put a fingerprint on anything right now. I am loving how the Lakers are playing now. I love the fact that Anthony Davis is playing like the Anthony Davis that we all know. I haven't heard so much about the Timberwolves. They've lost 3 in a row last games. I feel like if they drop, Lakers take that ninth, and the Jazz can maybe be in the play-in.
Yeah.
Because that's what I would like to see. Because I really don't know what's so exciting about the Timberwolves right now. Like, Edwards is hurt.
Like, Cat's been out.
No one really cares for Gobert anymore. Like, we've kind of already established what's going on.
We were both not very high on that trade in the first place. But so if you were to, I know a lot of it's speculation. You don't know how it's going to play out. But who do you think comes out of the West, or what 2 teams do you think meet in the Western Conference Finals? Like, or if you have any prediction.
2 teams in the Western Conference Finals. I'm gonna look at the playoff picture right now. Let me see how it goes off.
Based on today,
I would have to go. Is there a possibility Denver and Phoenix can make it to the Western Conference Finals?
One will play 4 in the semis.
In the semis, okay. Never mind then. Well, that's going to be a really early matchup then. That's a really good matchup. That happens.
That's what I'm saying, though. The playoffs, it's going to feel like an NBA
that West
Finals.
playoffs is going to be crazy.
Yeah.
So you're telling me it's hard because I really would pick Denver and Phoenix in West because that would make sense because KD obviously is going to – KD's going to do his thing, especially the Suns. That's why I'm not – I think it's between – So on that top part that makes the Western Conference Finals, it's either going to be the Denver or Phoenix. And the team that plays them, I'm going to have to go between... Ooh.
I'm going to say I think the Warriors and Clippers are right below that.
Well, what about when... Oh, no, because they would have to...
And the Kings, too. You cannot ignore the Kings.
No, the only reason why I'm ignoring them is because it's just experience. Because that plays so huge. But if that's the case, I might go Phoenix, Denver against Sacramento. Because to be honest, I was going to say some crazy things, but I'm looking at the play-in picture right now and where it goes. Unless the Lakers keep winning and they get to 7th and 8th seed, I'm not going to lie to you. I would not be shocked if I see Denver and Phoenix possibly against the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals because... I said it here before. You get LeBron in the playoffs and you have everybody healthy and everybody's good.
If they're healthy,
kind of scary.
Yeah. And the way they've been playing, Malik Beasley, dude, underrated pickup, very underrated.
D'Angelo Russell, man,
D'Lo, and then obviously Vanderbilt too has that.
My boy Vandalorian. Man.
So I can't disagree much with you there. I'll say Nuggets, Suns are probably the 2 favorites, and I think below them is going to be the Kings, Clippers, Mavericks too. I think.
See, that's why I'm so kind of lost when it comes to
I know you're not as high on the Clippers. I know, which I get. They have questions, health-wise and playoff-wise.
Playoff runs are weird. Like, everyone thinks, I think the last 2-3 years, ever since they got Kawhi and Paul George, and I love those guys. I love Paul George and I love Kawhi, and I've always admired their games, especially when Paul George was in the Pacers and Kawhi was in the Spurs. I'm not going to lie to you. I think it should have been Spurs against somebody else in the finals when Kawhi and Leonard went down when Zaza Pachulia put his ankle there. Mm-hmm. So that's all I'm going to say. But the narrative behind them, I think, is too much mean, now they probably have a better team from like maybe from before, but like because they have Russ and then like
they got Highland.
They got Highland now. And
Plumlee too.
Plumlee, like they have good role players. It's just like the narrative behind them have been too much because like they fail when they go to the playoffs. They don't make it. They don't make it that far. They kind of like something happens and playoff P is not playoff P. Yeah. He's George Paul.
Pandemic P.
And Kawhi.
George Paul. That's funny.
George Paul. That's Skip Bayless's name for Paul George when he doesn't play good is George Paul. But it's weird. It's not that I'm high on the Clippers. It's just like the last 2-3 years hasn't.
Yeah, no, I see that.
They haven't lived up to what everyone says about them, and like I want the best for them, and I want them to kind of go far because I like Kawhi, I like Paul George, but like they don't perform as great in the postseason, and I hope this year's different. That's why it's so.
What do you mean by when you say they don't? Are you talking about just Paul George or like?
I don't think it's Paul George and Kawhi because I mean Kawhi still plays his game, he does his thing, but he plays a very silent game where it's just like he gets his points, but I don't know. I feel like he doesn't.
Well, so are you saying because you saw with Toronto? Are you saying like since Toronto, I guess? Or like you saying?
Yeah, because I mean he's since Toronto. I mean even with the Clippers, he hasn't been
healthy,
load management and not healthy. So
I think they're saving him up for a run though. That's why if you're the Clippers,
that run has to be now, low-key.
Yeah,
that run has to be now or like.
But if you're the Clippers, you better hope you don't get matched up with the Suns 4 or 5 matchup.
Yeah,
It's if they're healthy. I think anybody else. I honestly think.
I think the number one team people should pay attention to in the playoffs is in the Western Conference should be the Suns. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Over Denver.
I would say yes because of the fact they have Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
I think that puts him.
If he's healthy,
if he's healthy, Kevin Durant plays. I would on paper. I'd pick the Suns because it's just like they have Chris Paul, Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, Ayton,
T.J. Warren,
like
Terrence Ross,
like they have the guys there. So it's just like
Cameron Payne,
And I think when you have Kevin Durant, the last couple of years we've proved when you have Kevin Durant, you're gonna
win.
Yeah, you're gonna win games. I mean, obviously not when he was on the Nets.
Dude, he was there for 4 years. It did not feel like that.
It did not. No, it
maybe because they were never healthy.
Not even a year. I felt like a year ago he just got traded to the Nets, but it wasn't.
It was crazy. And
a lot.
They also had that team where they had Harden, Harden, KD,
and Kyrie,
which is crazy. But
yeah,
I think I really hope the Kings. For the Kings, I don't know if you're Kings, like what matchup you're looking for. Maybe the Thunder get up to that.
I just hope the Kings do. I hope the Kings can at least just win games. I hope they win the first round because of first round they'd go up against.
Right now they play the Warriors theoretically. If the Warriors get that 7th seed.
You don't think our boy SGA would lead them over the Warriors? Because I think that's a lot of the narratives right now is, dang, could SGA bring the Thunder to the playoffs?
I would love a Kings Thunder matchup.
Dude,
I would love that because that would just be two teams that don't get nearly enough media.
Teams that haven't been making
and they haven't been in the. When was the last time the Thunder were good? Like when they had Paul George and Russ, those guys. Yeah. So that would be a fun underrated series to watch because it'd be just high level basketball. My mom's calling me. Sorry, Mom. But that would be fun to watch. Because again, if the Kings play the Warriors in a 7-game series, I mean, I don't know if I could pick the Kings over the Warriors.
I don't know. This year the Kings had the Warriors numbers this year, low key.
They do, but just playoff time.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true. I think that's the thing. That's why I'm fighting hard because when it comes to playoff time,
it's just different.
It's just like I've said it so many times. It's different. That's why I'm like, let my Heat at least just make it to the playoffs and they're fine.
That's what I'm saying because Spoelstra's gonna have them boys ready to go.
Exactly. So I'm just like, there's certain teams in these playoffs that when they make it to the playoffs, they're scary. So like
the Lakers,
the Warriors, the Heat, the Bucks,
Celtics,
like those teams, Phoenix, because recently went to the finals, and I know they kind of fell off a little bit, but the Suns are consistent in the playoffs. So I feel like since they've been in the positions, they're more prepared than a lot of these other teams, like Cleveland. Cleveland has finally made it to the playoffs without LeBron.
They got to see us though. You got to see the Knicks. Okay, let me ask you this: I know the Cavs. You were very high on them. You're a Mitchell fan, which Mitchell's grown on me this year. I admitted that. I apologize to you live on air. So if the Knicks play the Cavs, 7-game series, if that's the matchup we see, what do you think? Who do you think wins that series?
The Cavs. I go Cavs. I'm sorry. I gotta go Cavs. I don't know. Maybe it goes Game 7 though. I think it goes game 7.
I think we match up well. I don't.
I think
it's we have Mitchell Robinson who can match up with. Allen's the better player, but I don't think I think he matches up with him. And then,
dude, what was his tweet though a couple weeks ago about not getting the ball and running around? What was that? Well, I thought it was Duncan Robinson tweeting that.
Well, he played like, I think he got like 20 minutes of playing time that one time I saw him tweet that. Like it was after he played, his stat line was like, he just didn't. Really
it was like nothing.
Which
it looked like he didn't even.
That's why I think
in the game.
Obi Toppin's gonna. Obi Toppin, I've seen him just watching the games. It looks like he's getting frustrated. I personally think players do not like playing with RJ Barrett. Because just watching the games, I think even Randall at some points. But Randall's been huge since All-Star break, so I'm not gonna have
huge.
I have nothing negative
especially
to
against
say
the
about
Heat
the guy.
too.
Yeah, the game winner.
Whatever.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say anything negative about Randall because he's been huge since All-Star break. I'll just talk about RJ Barrett.
And I'm glad though, because the first part of the season wasn't like that. It was like, dude, what the heck's going on? You should be, and now he's doing.
Yeah,
it.
so I can't complain about Randall at all. And he's made clutch shots. But RJ Barrett, it's just there's so many times I'm like, it's not that he can't make it's shots he should make, but he just can't make them. And he doesn't really finish well through contact. Does not shoot well from 3 at all.
So are you possibly saying there's something going to be happening here next year?
I think if
RJ Barrett, I think the Knicks move on from RJ Barrett.
You just signed him to that contract. So I think the Knicks, just so they don't look like complete idiots, they'd have to give it at least another year after this. Especially if they win a playoff series, I think they're definitely gonna run it back.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So I think this is what I'll say. If RJ Barrett, we're gonna all signs point towards making the playoffs. If Knicks make the playoffs and he lays an egg, then you got to do something. Because it's his 4th year in the league, 4th year in the league.
Third, 4th, yeah. He came in with Zion,
Ja. Those guys are taking huge leaps when Zion's healthy, obviously, and just other guys like Garland was in that draft class, I believe. So if RJ Barrett's shooting 9 for 21 for 17 points, or not 17 for like 20 points, not just talk about the stats, but like if he's just not contributing, I don't know, because there's a lot of players in that draft class that have made huge leaps that he hasn't made.
Yeah, that's true. And I agree. I mean, it's so hard to see RJ Barrett like this because, golly, I just remember when he was such a different player. But besides all that, I do like the matchup. I will probably watch that series a lot, the Cleveland. I like watching the Knicks in playoffs low-key because, I mean, the
New York's going to be crazy.
New York's going to be going crazy, finally. That's another thing. I haven't seen a lot of crazy. I watch a lot of New York stuff. You know this.
Yeah,
and, I haven't seen a lot of, crazy New York Knicks fans, and they've been doing really, really good.
I think it's... I don't know.
Are you guys staying silent? Thank God, because when you guys are loud, you guys lose. So maybe stay silent.
I will say, when we played in Miami, when the Knicks played in Miami, and Julius Randle hit that game winner. I'm not trying to bring up bad memories for you, Mike, but there was a lot of Knicks fans there, man. There was a lot of Knicks fans.
Oh yeah.
Which I thought was interesting.
Miami and New York have connections. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
I know I even have some family. I have a lot of friends. They're maybe born and raised or even raised a lot in Florida, but they are from New York, or people from New York are from Florida. So like we call this thing. There's a little phrase. So Puerto Ricans, right?
Yeah.
There's something that we call New Yorkicans, and those are really? Puerto Ricans are from New York and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I mean, I like the Knicks. I like the little matchup they have going forward, but there is a lot of questions that I have to ask when it comes to certain players on the Knicks.
Is it just
RJ Barrett,
Randall?
No, I'm not. I'm fine on Randall. So I'm fine with recent. I'm fine with Randall.
Yeah,
Keep that.
It's his All-Star break.
You better hold on to Jalen Brunson.
Yeah, Brunson.
You owe that man a lot. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. You guys owe that man a lot because he's done so much.
He should have been an All-Star.
Oh, should have been. He's a beast. I love Jalen Brunson.
I wanted
great.
to say that. I'm glad you brought
Josh
that up.
Hart.
Great pick.
Great little pickup.
He's been doing everything. Steals.
Y'all need to steal that man in the Nets right now. The other Villanova Wildcat.
Bridges.
Have you seen him been playing?
I'd give up RJ.
RJ for
I would give up RJ for Mikal Bridges. Call me crazy. I think he's a better defender, way more efficient. You see him. Mikal's on his own team now.
Probably a better scorer.
He's a better scorer. What is? No, again, not to just hate on RJ, but what does RJ have over Mikal Bridges? Playmaking. I'm
agreeing. I'm agreeing with you. I don't want to say anything bad because I do like my boy RJ Barrett, but Mikal Bridges has been going off for the Nets, and maybe that's probably why they'll probably stay in that little playoff run. They might even stay in the play-in run, but this man right here, oh my gosh, like the last 23 points, and then 34 points. Like the dude's been
That's why,
doing
like the Nets.
his thing.
I know if you're a Nets fan, you're upset to see those stars go, but their young core is pretty solid.
Their young core, I would low key do an NBA 2K franchise with the Nets
you
young
got
core.
Bridges, Johnson, Simmons if he plays. Like you got guys. You got guys who are.
I think the coaching though for the Nets is a little.
You don't like
off.
Jacques Vaughn?
I like Jacques Vaughn. Trust me, I like Jacques Vaughn because he used to coach some Magic, and even though it wasn't that great but the thing with Jacques Vaughn is he's not giving some of the certain guys that should
like
be
Cam
playing.
Thomas, right?
Cam Thomas is not getting.
Yeah, that's the thing about Cam
like
Thomas
that.
is he's a guy. Like you know how I am about volume shooters. He's a volume shooting guy, but the thing is, you have to give guys like that time to get into. Like you can't just play him in 2-minute spurts. Like they got to get into a rhythm.
No, he has to. Yeah.
When he plays 30 minutes, he gets like 20 points at least. Like you just got to give. I don't know what he's doing.
He could be the Tyrese Maxey for that
Yeah,
team. Like he's a scorer.
But like the way I look at that, I'm like maybe there's something going on in practice. Maybe there's something that the coaches evaluate those guys every day. So it's something we're not seeing. But like I don't know what he's doing. If anything, he's deserved more time as opposed to anything else. And there's games he doesn't even play. Like how I don't get it. That makes no sense to me at all.
Yeah, there's just certain things with the Nets. That's why I'm like, there's still something. That's why I still am not confident with them staying in this playoff picture or even staying in the plan because of that idea.
Yeah.
But the other idea of Mikal Bridges being an absolute stud, still playing the way he's been. Like I feel like he stepped into a role that I'm pretty sure he maybe wanted it. Like he went from being a role-playing defender, 3-and-D defender where he's just catch and shoot or maybe catch the ball and blah, blah, blah off Chris Paul.
What was
and
he,
play
the third
really
option?
I don't think the
fourth
third
option,
like
maybe?
Fourth, fifth, because you would think the first option would be Devin Booker.
Then Chris Paul? Or
no. Second would be Ayton.
Then Chris
Third would be like Chris Paul and then maybe Mikal Bridges.
He kind of,
You know, even if he would have stayed on team and he wasn't a part of that trade, I think he'd be maybe fifth option. Because then it'd be KD, Booker, Ayton, Paul, and then him. Yeah. You know, but
that's fair.
It's nice to see him be in this role where he's becoming, and this is why I love when trades like this happen with guys like this, because they get in a role where they're like, I can be on this team and I can do me. I can do whatever I want. Because like he came on this team and who was on the team? Nobody. Like I don't know who else. Like who's he gonna share the ball with?
I mean, I don't know what's going on with Simmons.
I don't.
I'm just confused. Like
I think that's just.
You think like what is Simmons' future in the NBA?
He's his own enemy. Yeah, I think he's 100%. His own enemy. And what's funny is, I have to almost. It's not that I pity the man. I have to almost agree with the man with maybe whatever he's going with. I really hope he solves that. And I'm kind of that little mental case as well, but he's got to solve that.
Yeah.
Just like myself, he's got to solve this whole. I don't know what it is. I don't know if he's just not happy, if there's things going on outside the NBA that's going on, but like he's been in a
so
very
talented,
so talented. I love Ben.
He was compared to LeBron coming in. Yeah.
No, he's compared to Ben. He was compared to Magic
Johnson.
Johnson.
He was the first overall pick.
First overall pick. Didn't even get to play his first year. Won Rookie of the year in his third year really in the NBA.
Over Mitchell,
Over Mitchell. But so talented, and now it's just not that it's being wasted. It's just not being shown anymore. Like it's something with him, and I hope for the best for him, and I just hope they solve it. But with these playoffs, I think we're still for the East. I think we're more like substantial. I think we're seeing all right, who's going to be in, who's going to stay in the play-in, or who's going to maybe move up. But in the West, it's very hard to kind of depict because we still have a good amount of games to where 8th through 10th could change. Really 4 through 10 could change like that.
Yeah.
If they win or if teams lose, like it could change quickly. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, going in on that, I would like to now go on the other side of the spectrum. Teams that are not playing kind of give some things to maybe give some spotlight on some things, but we're going to give a little bit of a bad thing, man. I need you to talk about your Pelicans. Because that is very, very, very disappointing. They went from number 1 in the West all the way to 12th in the West.
Yeah, I mean, you know the people, you, Mike, you guys all deserve an explanation. I was very, very high on the Pelicans, but yes, I mean, it really just honestly comes down to availability. Zion has not played. Ingram had that toe contusion for a while. Trey Murphy's been hooping though. Big Trey Murphy guy. So just from a general standpoint, it's just That's what it comes down to. Just haven't been healthy. And maybe they can make that 10 seed, which you get Zion back. Maybe you win the play and you get matched up with the Nuggets and you get swept first round. Maybe. But yeah, there's not really much to say other than like they just haven't been healthy. Like when Zion was healthy, when they were healthy, you saw it, they were the number one team in the West, and they just did a full 360, completely, or 180, I should say, completely just fell off. And I don't know what the problem. Like if you're the Pelicans, you just paid Zion all that money, but like what's his future if he can't be healthy? Because he hasn't been healthy a full season, and he's third, fourth year. Like I don't know. I think it just comes. I don't know what the problem is. He's just not healthy, and you're not going to win if your two best players are just playing on and off. And McCollum's been having a pretty solid year, I thought.
It's weird because I was like, I was high on the Pelicans. I like the Pelicans, but it is hard to see him go through something like this because it's just like Zion's not playing. It looks like Jose Alvarado's not even playing, right? Is he on the Pelicans? Yeah. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Pelicans? Yeah. Pelicans. Jose Alvarado hasn't been playing a lot. So it's just weird. Herbert Jones hasn't been doing what Herbert Jones does. CJ McCollum stays consistent. That's fine. Yeah. Brandon Ingram stays consistent. It's good to see Trey Murphy starting to get a little bit more of a playing time, and I'm sure that's because of Zion going down and Alvarado not playing. But it was a very sad thing for me when I saw that stat the other day. Like after they went from being number one, having a really good record, in the time span that they went to get to number one, in the time span from the All-Star break now, so from the All-Star break till now, it's just been very bad. Like they don't even have double-digit wins right now. Like they literally from the All-Star break till now, they have more double-digit losses than they had double-digit wins.
Yeah, which I think, as I said, if your best player is not healthy, you're not going to win. Like same as the Lakers, when they were healthy, when they finally got guys around LeBron and AD, they started to win. So it's like if your guys aren't playing, it's like it just shows how. I think it kind of shows the impact that Zion really has, though. That's why if you're the Pelicans, you got to do whatever it takes to get that man healthy. I don't know what the problem is. I think it's a hamstring injury right now. So like I don't know how you can. I don't know if you really can control that.
Is it a hamstring injury?
I thought it was. Yeah, definitely fact check that. But
let me see. Because what the original thing was what, his foot.
Yeah, something like that. I think he got hurt again or something. Like he just hasn't been healthy. I don't know. I really don't know.
I don't want to get into his injury stuff because I already can kind of tell I know what the problem is. But
yeah.
So, but he kind of did lose that.
It looked like he got more fit, got more physical.
Exactly. So it's just I don't know because this always makes me just think forward more. Like yes, I hope the medical team could just really get him in. So you're right. It is a hamstring strain. Mm-hmm. Reevaluated. This was back in March 8th, and his examination will take place in approximately 2 weeks. And that was March 8th. They said they would reevaluate his hamstring injury. So I don't know. Like I said, it makes me think of forward because it's just like, what happens? What do you do next? Like, do you just maybe hold on to this team and wait for next year to happen and see what goes on next year when everyone's healthy or something? Because I don't know. It's nothing against Zion. It's just, it kind of stinks. Your first 2-3 years, you
haven't played.
You really haven't played. But the time frame that you have played, everyone loves you and you're doing great.
He's shooting like 60% from the field when he's healthy.
Dude, just look at this. Zion Williams. This is just a thing. I'm seeing this on SportsIllustrated.com, but it's literally, it said Zion middle of a fantastic season with averaging 26 points, 7 rebounds, and 4 assists a game.
Yeah.
Like, that's insane. Like, in the time frame that he's played, he's averaging that much. So just think, if you give him now to playoffs or when he wasn't injured, like, they're a really solid team. They went to number one, and it stinks that it has to kind of go like this because, damn, that's a heck of a drop from 1 to 12.
Yeah, it doesn't get much worse than that.
Yeah, and you can maybe blame the fact that, like, you can't blame it. Like, a lot of teams in the West are playing well this year. So we're seeing a lot of close records. But, golly, that drop was crazy. Because, not even... Because who had a crazy... the Jazz had a crazy drop. But, like, that was expected. Like, no one was really like, oh, the Jazz are going to stay up there and be great and all that. But it stinks because I mean I was also high. I thought the Pelicans were a top 10 team in the West.
Yeah,
top 7 really because like I mean besides the Mavericks before the Kyrie trade, I thought they were better than the Mavericks because they had Zion.
And nobody expected the Kings to be as good as they were.
Yeah, no one expected that. I think everyone was kind of like happy with what the Kings got, but no one was like, oh, they're gonna get number 2 in the West.
No way.
No. So like, it was crazy coming into the season, and then the beginning of the season before All-Star break, and then going into All-Star break, it was like, dang, this Pelican team could make a run. Like if they get the right chips in the right spot. Oh Lord, they're gonna be a dangerous team. But they fell off, man. I don't know how to feel about that because it's just like they could still maybe make it because they have 34 wins, but the Jazz also have 34 wins, and the Jazz are ahead of them. So like I said, this is why it's still kind of like, but Zion would have to come back right now.
Yeah,
right now.
I mean, theoretically, they could get up to that 10 spot, but the way they're playing, there's no way they will.
Yeah. I really hope the Jazz, though, take that time because I really don't want to. I don't know. I feel so off about Timberwolves being in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I really don't care if they're in the playoffs.
No. I love it, Ant Edwards, but outside of that, I mean, Gobert, I don't know.
That team, we thought highly of them at the beginning of the season because of the trades and all that because they were like, oh, okay, maybe they can be something, but that team is.
I was hoping to see more of Cat and Gobert play. Obviously, Cat's injured, so that's unfortunate. I hope he gets back soon. But if you're T-Wolves, the Knicks got the T-Wolves tonight, so I'll definitely watch that to see. But like without Anthony Edwards and Cat, they're not. If Gobert's your overall your best player,
your first option, that's kind of sad.
For a guy who, all due respect, he can't make a jump shot for his life. He just dunks and
he barely even scored.
That's the thing that frustrates me. Like, there's no way. Like he's a great rim protector, but like I don't think he's this insane defender, 3-time defensive player. Like I just don't. There's so many better defenders out there who don't get that recognition. Yeah. Like he's a great rim protector, but like it's not like he's locking up anybody like on the perimeter.
No, he's really not.
Like, would you rather have Kawhi's perimeter defense or Gobert's rim presence?
No, I'd rather have Kawhi.
Yeah,
because Kawhi. I mean, Kawhi. But even with Kawhi is such a great defender. Like even if you do take him from perimeter inside, he can guard you inside.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And Gobert, like if Kyrie's on Gobert, it's barbecue chicken. Or if Gobert's on Kyrie, barbecue chicken. He's gonna go to the rim.
Oh yeah, but on the other side, if Kyrie goes against Rudy Gobert, Kyrie's crossing that man and doing the little finger roll at the thing where he can't block it. So, I don't know. But that's another thing. I've seen some videos where he gets posted up by small guards, but he doesn't get the ball. He's just sitting there and he doesn't do anything with it. So it's like another thing. I feel like he's a great, awesome. You're a great defensive anchor. Like in 2K, you are a defensive anchor.
I love him.
But when it comes on, when he plays on offense, bro, it's like I don't even know if he has great post moves.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Get in there.
Like it's not like he's doing hook shots like Hakeem the Dream type stuff.
And he could. Like I feel like he should. Like I feel like he should be a two-way player. He should be able to protect that rim, but then he should almost be unstoppable in the paint because
you're 7 foot whatever it is.
And he's one of the biggest guys. He has a long wingspan. Like dude, you could score easily if you wanted to. Yeah. Like I mean
he's built is similar to Giannis's. Obviously Giannis is more probably quicker and whatnot, all that type of stuff. But like there's no reason he shouldn't be able to do some of the stuff. Sure. And If you're the Timberwolves, you really got to be thinking why do we give all that stuff up for a guy who, I think the way I look at it is like if you gave up it was like 3 or 4 first round picks. If you gave it up for a guy who like when other guys are out, you can't really depend on to get the job done. What are we really here for? Because if you you look at it like I don't know what there's not really a way to compare, but like Donovan Mitchell, like like that was a trade that take Garland off the team where he was like that guy's gonna step up. That guy's going to step up. He could still win you games. He might not win you a championship without the best players, but he could still win you games. And, without Cat, without Anthony Edwards, the Timberwolves aren't going anywhere.
Sure.
So that's why I'm like, I was never high on that trade. I was never really high on Gobert at all.
Yeah. I mean, they lost 3 in a row the last 3 games, so I really think they fall out, and then maybe the Jazz, maybe the Pelicans take it. Maybe they just get in the play or something.
I don't think Gobert's a top 3 center.
No. I don't even know if he's top 5, really, because, I mean, recent.
Jokic, Embiid, Sabonis. Bam. Yeah. We're missing somebody. I mean, is Anthony Davis a power forward? Does he classify as a power forward?
Classified as power forward, but he plays center a lot for the Lakers.
Lot.
I mean, I'd probably just give him a big man, but I don't know. I think it's weird. That's why I'm not so high on the Timberwolves being the plan because I'm just like I could care less if they don't make it because I'd rather see the Thunder. Like that'd be cool to see the Thunder.
That'd be fun to watch.
That'd be great because to be honest, we all thought the Thunder were just gonna stink this year. We all thought we're just we're probably just gonna watch SGA. And
Jalen Williams has been hooping though. Not like there's two Jalen Williams, but the one who went to Santa Clara. I don't know which. The one who's
they do have two.
Yeah, they have the one from Arkansas and the one from Santa Clara.
I thought it was one that's from Arkansas is the one that's going off.
No, I think it's
the one with I thought he had the.
No, Arkansas. The Arkansas one I think is like a two-way player. Like he plays in the G League too. I think, but
is it? Oh man, I forgot.
You might want to double check. This is confusing. They have the same name.
I forgot they had two.
And Josh Giddey too. So underrated.
Oh yeah.
He's like the most least flashy point guard. But he just does everything. Like he's such a fundamental guy, which is fun to watch because there's not guys like that. A lot of guys like that anymore.
He's 6'9", right? That Jalen Williams.
Something like that, yeah.
No, they only have. Oh no, they do. So they have the 6'5" guard.
Yeah,
from Santa Clara.
Yeah, that's the one he's been hooping.
6'9". That's the one that's been doing. Not this one. I thought it was this one. That's him. That's the Arkansas one.
What's his stats?
Points. Oh, maybe it's not.
Look at the other guy.
Dang, what do they look alike? What the heck?
I mean, I guess a little bit.
Oh no, they don't. Never mind. No, they don't. Golly, I'm confused about their names, but yeah, no, this is points. Yeah, this is a 23, 21, 15. Yeah, he's good. He had like 10 rebounds when he had his 23 points.
But Giddey too, good. And don't forget they don't have Chet either.
They don't. You see it pop up on the commercials recently?
No,
he's on a commercial right now. He's in a. Golly, I forgot what commercial it is. I saw him on a commercial just the other day, and I was like, "Is that Chet Holmgren?"
Yeah.
I was like, "What in the world?" I haven't seen him since like the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think it's a great thing. I think it's a great thing for them being this good at this point. Or being where they're at right now because of the fact that like they have something, they have someone to look forward to next year, and then maybe a good draft pick.
Multiple
good
draft picks, yeah.
Multiple good draft
bunch
picks.
Of picks.
So I feel like they're in a good spot. Like it's crazy. They still have SGA. Josh Giddey's doing his thing. Jalen Williams is starting to come out.
Giddey, man, I love watching Giddey play.
Giddey's a dude. Man. I love Giddey. Then Poku is still on the team. You still got Trey Mann, who's really good on that team.
Florida man, yeah, I remember him.
So I feel like going forward, this Thunder team, I think for them, I think they are satisfied if they make the playoffs, they're satisfied. But with the way this season has gone for them, if they don't make the playoffs, which I believe they'll make the playoffs, I think they'll make the play-in at most. But if they don't, I think they should still be proud of themselves because like everyone thought they were probably just gonna be at the bottom of the league, suffering. No one was gonna like them because they have really no better than the team, but.
Hey, I want to go back.
Have came back.
I don't remember the episode. Again, not that I'm LeBron and know everything, but I did say that Thunder were going to make the plan back in. I got to check what episode it was. Probably like 4 or 5 range. I don't really remember. But my prediction was, not that it's a hot take, but I said the Thunder would make the plan. And here they are. Again, there's still ways to go. Still 9, 10 games left, so you can't lay an egg here. But, I mean, Shea's just I mean, yeah, he might not be in the MVP conversation just because their team's not winning enough, but there's not many players I think that would put them in the position where they're at right now. Just in terms of like age, experience, gotta give credit where credit's due. Shea's been hooping; it's fun to watch, and him and Giddey's gonna be really good backcourt.
True. I think that's
So is Giddey the 2? Is Giddey, or I think Giddey's the 1, right? Or is he?
I think Giddey's like 2 or 3. Cause I think Giddey's like what?
Like
6.
Yeah, but he plays with he has the ball a lot. Like.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, shoot, I'd give him the ball at least. I think him and Shea do a really good job of just.
They coexist together.
Yeah, they could just coexist because they're both very good playmakers in general. Like if Shea was maybe more of like, no, because Shea can do that, but like if Shea was more like scoring focus, then it'd maybe be a little bit different. But like,
yeah.
I think Shea does a really good job of playmaking. So does Giddey. So, like, just having 2 playmakers, I think having 2 guys that can really facilitate, yes, they can maybe make their own shot. Like, I think Shea can make his own shot 100%.
Yeah,
Josh can maybe too, but I think it's really good because then it's just like you're going to get open shots with everyone else. Like, they're going to maybe find their open shot, and the next thing you know, someone's going to have to come and help, and then just whoop, right over the top. So, I think it works out for them. I think going forward, I think they're in the best position right now for just their team and how really young their team is. And I just hope the best for them. I hope they still make the play-in. I hope they give a really good matchup against whoever they play in the play-in, which I believe they will. And, yeah, I think next year for the Thunder, I think there's something to look forward to. Whatever good draft pick they get for this upcoming draft, maybe they can get some good guys from college ball, maybe get another scorer, maybe get another big man, because I think that's another thing they kind of still slack. Even though they have Chet, they don't.
Yeah, they got physical big.
Yeah, they need another good big man that could maybe come off the bench behind Chet, or maybe could play along Chet with the 4 or 5, because I think Chet could really. Chet is almost like Chris Porzingis came in. People were like, "Oh, he's 7'3". Well, he's gonna play the center spot." I mean, he could, but
stretch the floor though.
He can stretch the floor. So Chet will probably maybe play 4. He could probably play 4, space the floor, catch the ball, because we all know Chet's like a unicorn. Dude can dribble and everything and stuff like that. So I think it'd be a really cool thing to see that next year. I think next year is definitely. I know we're talking next year for the Thunder, and everyone's like, "Oh, well, why are you counting them out now?" It's just I don't know if they make it.
Yeah,
far
they might make. I think at best, they make the plan. I'm sorry, they make the playoffs. Like they win the plan.
Yeah, they play in, but then they get probably.
Yeah, like if they play even the Kings, I don't think they're not gonna beat the Kings.
Yeah, no.
Maybe steal a game or two, but
maybe. But
who
hey,
knows, man?
Who knows? I think that's what's so great about the NBA and playoffs. It's just like I think that's what's great about basketball when it comes to just big things, because like March Madness, there's things you can never know what happens in March Madness, and the NBA playoffs. You don't know. You obviously think, oh, this team is going to be good, like the Warriors and all that, but sometimes there's teams that just come right out the blue and they're like, hey, don't doubt us. We're here. And next thing you know, they beat your team, and you're like, why did we lose to this team? And we see different stories. So playoffs is going to be a very, very, I think everyone should be paying attention, though, in the West.
Yeah.
East, I mean, if you're an East fan, East Conference, you're a fan of anybody in the East, obviously pay attention to your team and stuff like that. But I think the East is very straightforward. I think really the only teams that are close at the moment is really the Nets and the Heat in changing like standings, because the Heat have 39 wins and so do the Nets. So that's 6-7. So we might see the Heat take 6, and the Brooklyn Nets might drop. So we're still seeing a little bit more movement, but I think the East is kind of in its spot. Maybe a little movement, but not as much. But in the West, it's literally 4 through 10 that could just make a change. 4 through 12 that could make a huge change if teams either win out their season or lose the whole rest of the season. Like, it could just change like this. So I don't know. Going forward, the West is still very unpredictable, but the East, as always, because it's the least, is very, they're very straightforward. East will always have our business done. Okay, the East is always great. We do our thing, and we just straightforward. The West is just craziness, which is great, and I think everybody loves that when it comes to the West. And I just can't wait for the playoffs.
Dude,
not even 2-3 weeks away, man.
The games every night. Every game matters at that point.
Play-in starts April 11th. Playoffs start April 15th. Not even 3-4 days after that.
Wait, what did you say? Oh, play-in's April 11th?
Play-in is April 11th, so that's that week. The 15th, I believe, is a Saturday.
Yeah. So that's what? Less than a month. Less than a month. 3
weeks, and then we get to see play-in. We get to see
one and done, man. It's like March Madness type beat.
No, I know. I like that idea.
I know we're critical about the plan, but just in terms of watching the plan is fun.
Yeah. Especially like the position that the West is in right now. Like, this could be a very interesting play-in tournament.
Any team that makes a play-in, the teams that are in the play-in right now, they can definitely make damage in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And like, I don't think anybody's really scared of anybody. It's not like, recent years where you have like the LeBrons on top and just Kevin Durant. There's all these guys on top, but it doesn't seem like there's one team that's really feared. Like, any team, like if you're the Nuggets and you've got to play the Lakers, that's a fun series.
That's a really fun series, which is possible right now, but we don't know how the season's gonna end, so we still gotta wait. This is what's so crazy about the NBA and the Western Conference Finals. Just like, we don't know. We don't know. There's things that could still happen from today till the end of the season, till April 11th. There's still a lot that can happen.
A lot.
So definitely stay tuned in the NBA. Definitely keep watching, because there's gonna be a lot going on. But before we get off and we end this thing, MVP. Who do you got winning MVP?
I gotta go Jokic, man. I think I know I was critical of Jokic just because he gets the triple doubles, and when Russ did it, I'm a huge Russ fan, as everyone knows.
Mm-hmm.
He got hate, but he's doing it way more efficiently, rightfully so. I'm not gonna knock on Russ at all, but he's very efficient. His team's the second best team in the league.
Mm-hmm.
He's played pretty much all the games this season. Maybe missed a couple, but for the most part, he's been healthy. As a result, Aaron Gordon, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. Well, Jamal Murray's still coming back from that injury a little bit, but he dropped 20 in the first quarter last night. But he makes his teammates better, and honestly, I actually really love watching Jokic play though too. The guy his size doing what he does. We haven't really seen that type of thing before. He is the best player on the best team in the West, and it's gonna be hard for me not to give it to Jokic. I know I was high on Tatum, Ja, Doncic, but those guys, they're doing their things. Some of them haven't really played this year with their whatever situations they got going on. They haven't been playing as much, but I mean Jokic, man, it's for me, it's hard to not give it to Jokic. But who's MVP to you, Mike?
It's hard. It's hard for me because I really, really, really love Joel Embiid. I like Joel Embiid as a player. I think he's a very dominant guy. I think he's also gets that recognition as being very dominant. Like he's probably one of these guys right now that is like, when it comes to scoring and being a big man, like he's probably one of the most versatile big men I've seen in a long time. Guys like Hakeem. And we're starting to see that because I think what Joel Embiid is doing right now is moving a lot of narratives with big men because I think with him and Jokic, I love this that we're starting to see this big men evolve.
Yeah, which is good to see.
Which is great to see because it's always been a slander. Like it's always been when old guys, the OGs in the NBA and old guys were talking, they're like, oh well, the big man's gone. Like there's nobody that's big killing it, and like we're starting to see the evolution of that. And I think it's also going around the league because I've talked about this. I love the big man position. I love just watching centers and guys that are versatile like that are that big. And Joel Embiid does that is like almost a definition. I think Jokic does it too, but Joel Embiid is almost like the definition of that because he could post you up, catch you on dribble, drop step you, do whatever, and then on the defensive end, he's you can't score on him. He can guard. He can guard perimeter too, Joel Embiid. So I think it's more of just it's really hard to pick because it's just like you have the Sixers are number 2 in the East, and you have the West. Number 1 is the Nuggets.
Mm-hmm.
I think for now, because I put so much preach on it, I just wanted to give Joel Embiid. I know everyone's probably thrown off and they're like, wait, you're going to not pick. I'm not picking Joel Embiid to win the MVP. I think he still takes a little second place spot again, unfortunately, behind Jokic. But I think Jokic has just had such a crazy year.
He's been better than his MVP seasons.
Better. Like, how do you do that? Like, it's crazy. He's number 1 in the West with a team that I don't even think has a lot, just like the Sixers.
Yeah.
Like who?
I was gonna say
who's next?
Jokic,
Aaron Gordon, and I like
Jamal
that.
Murray. Yeah, Murray when he's healthy, but
yeah.
Murray's just been nice.
But like this year, their second guy's what? Aaron Gordon.
Yeah, Aaron Gordon this year. And
this year,
take Jokic great. Off that team,
and that's great though. I love that because Aaron Gordon is a great player, and I love that little top. Like he upped the level, leaving the Magic because I think when he was just leaving the Magic were starting to realize like, oh, this guy could be a guy in a way, but he still is kind of like a little bit inconsistent, but that's why they kind of got rid of him. But now it's like he has that chip on his shoulder with Jokic by his side and everything. But I got to give it to Jokic because I saw a crazy stat, and I can't find it. I've been literally trying to find it this whole freaking episode, but I can't find it, which Twitter page it was that I follow. I follow a bunch of like NBA data, stat, little name, little drops, stuff like that. But his last 10 games, I think it was either 6 out of the 10 or 7 out of the 10 games, he's literally had a triple-double in every single game, and they're winning. They won almost every single game.
I think they're undefeated when he has a triple-double. I don't know if it's
probably a crazy
They
stat.
might have a couple, but I thought at one point they were undefeated. It's like, so like I saw, I'm not a huge fan of Kendrick Perkins as an analyst, but he was saying that Jokic stat pads, which is kind of crazy to me because
they want to say that about anybody that gets triple doubles on a
it's
consistent
like,
basis.
when you're winning, it doesn't really matter. It's not. They're at one point they were undefeated. I'm not 100% sure if they still are, but they were undefeated when he had a triple double.
I don't get that narrative where they say it's stat padding. They don't say that about Giannis, and Giannis almost gets a double, triple double almost every other game.
It doesn't make sense to me because it's like,
and they say his effort.
Yeah.
Okay, so then what about Russell Westbrook when he had his crazy effort about getting triple doubles?
But it's
I don't get that narrative.
You know, you want to say they're stat pad, but then if their stats aren't as good as previous years, their stats aren't that good. It's like you can't really win. And Jokic does not stat pad. He does. If you watch if you watch the Nuggets play, he does not stat pad.
I think also the other argument that kind of happens, and I know it doesn't have to get this deep, is just it's crazy. You see the greatness of Joel Embiid, and you're like, okay, this greatness compared to other greatness, you're like, okay, we've seen guys like this before, right? Have you ever seen anybody like Nikola Jokic? A big man like Nikola Jokic?
No.
I think if it's like gets to that conversation, I think you give that nod to Jokic, but like even OG big man like Shaq and all like when I know Charles Barkley wasn't a big man, but he was like a four spot, and he like, but obviously the TNT group and all of them, they talk about Jokic and they're like, we've never seen this. We've probably seen little spurts of it in like certain players like DeMontis Sabonis' dad. His dad was that type of playmaking center, but he wasn't like at this level. You know, you saw guys that were good at playmaking and stuff like this, but Jokic is like boom. Like Jokic is like it's another level that you have to get to, and I mean shoot, like
but he makes his teammates better. Like
he makes everybody else better. Like it's almost it's literally I'm not gonna lie, it's almost like a LeBron thing. Like LeBron, you put LeBron or Jokic on a team, he's gonna make everyone else like involved and stuff like that. Maybe not make everyone else better because there's obviously people would say, "Oh, there's evidence LeBron doesn't make anyone better." Yeah, which is crazy. But you know, I think just with that, I think Jokic. Yeah, I think for sure Jokic wins another one. But yet again, I won't be shocked if Joel Embiid gets it. But I think 100%. I'd even put in my vote. I'm going Jokic 100 out of the way because the whole season has just been...
It's been all year. Yeah.
It's been all year. Just triple-doubles on almost every night. And it's crazy because people don't even think of him as like a rebounder, but he gets a lot of top 10 in the rebound.
Yeah. So it's like it's really... I honestly think if you don't think... Not even if you don't think Jokic is an MVP, but if you don't think he's an MVP... If he's an MVP favorite, like you're just kind of a hater. Like there's no way you can... Just watch the Nuggets play. Like he's undoubtedly... the leading candidate, or if you want to argue Embiid, but he's right there with him. Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. But like,
I think a lot of the arguments could possibly be also when they played against each other. I think Embiid has his number. I think the Sixers have one.
Yeah, that's true.
But it's crazy because you can't even say, "Oh, Joel Embiid killed Jokic," because I think Jokic also had a good game too against Embiid. So it's like,
I think Jokic didn't. I watched the game where they played each other. Like Jokic didn't play bad. It's just Embiid played a lot better.
Oh yeah,
you know, and that's just how it rolls.
But I think he still had. I think one of the games, I think he still had a triple double. Yeah. So it's just like, it's just crazy to me because it's just like the dude could still do his thing and probably lose, but like, I mean, Joel Embiid's great, and I wish the best. I mean, he's had. I mean, even the stat right here, he's had 7 straight 30-point performances on this. And this article was on the 17th. So his literally 7 straight games from the 17th, Joel Embiid has had 30-point games. So I think that's very impressive.
Embiid's been great too.
Embiid's been phenomenal. I think that's why it's just so great to see that we're seeing two big men are like the top of the league.
My only critique about Embiid, and not even to be a hater, but like, because it's a part of the game, so I don't want it to come off the wrong way, but he relies on free throws, I think, a little bit too much. Like, the way he creates fouls, which, again, you're 7 feet tall, people are going to foul you, but sometimes when, like, to me, it's like, that's not really...
It looks like he's hardened.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Or like when Trae Young probably learned that from him, though, because it's it's not a fun thing to watch, but I see why Harden and Joel Embiid and guys like that do that, because it's just like, you're getting to the line, you're getting your points, you're putting your team up more, you're putting the other team in foul trouble.
Yeah.
Like, it hurts a lot, but I know it's not fun to watch because you're just like, oh my God, this is just free throws.
And I mean, it's part of the game, so I'm not trying to knock at them for it, but it's like, when I see the Sixers play, like, some of the foul calls are just kind of ridiculous. Like, what do you, like, I don't know what you're supposed to do. Like, there's one play like Marcus Smart, I don't remember exactly what happened, but like, it evidently was not a foul, and it happened a couple times, and they called a foul for whatever reason. But it's like, I don't know. That's why I think I definitely give Jokic the nod over Embiid. But to be fair, Embiid's having a great season. Sixers are winning. Harden's hooping. So, you know, he's really not that far behind. But as of right now, today, you got to give it to Jokic for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I mean, it's crazy that you say that. That like he goes a lot to the free throw line and stuff.
And
like that.
Makes them. You got to give credit.
And he makes them. Yeah. But it's funny that you say that because, I mean, even on the 19th, there was a tweet that George Karl, the great coach George Karl, said on Joel Embiid. He said he takes too many possessions off and he has a lazy body language.
No, that actually is true though.
And it's true because
he only plays defense when he wants to. You know, like there's a lot of times where it's like there is the effort is definitely lacking. To be fair, he does a lot, so he's due to have some possessions off. But it's like,
but we'll see. I mean, the voting is definitely going to be a big thing coming to the end of the season, and we'll see what happens. I think it's going to be a very interesting thing because I think this is going to bring the best out of them. Not even either positive or negative. I think either way, it's going to bring the best out of them. They win the NBA MVP. They're like, all right, next is the finals. They don't win an MVP. They're like, oh, I'm going to come kill everybody. Because, I mean, a good example like that, and this is what I like to bring up because I love bringing up my old stats like this. But when the Admiral Robinson, David Robinson won MVP over Hakeem Olajuwon, and they played in the first round of playoffs, Hakeem Olajuwon killed him.
Yeah.
Killed him. Hakeem Olajuwon was like, nope, that should have been mine. I'm killing you.
Which is definitely, you definitely should take it personal. Like, it is a regular season award, so obviously, be
crazy if like one of them wins MVP and they meet in the finals.
That's what I'm saying though. Like
that would be.
I don't know if the chances those teams meet up in the finals.
There's not a.
I don't think it's
high chance.
I don't think
it's impossible.
It's not impossible because I think it's more of a chance the Nuggets make it than the Sixers. I think.
True. Yeah.
But that would be really fun. I think that would end a lot of discussion.
Yeah. That's true. Two of the best big men. Two of the best players in the NBA. I mean, really, right now we're talking. These two are the best players in the world right now. Yeah. In the world, Joel Embiid and Jokic are the two best players in the world right now.
Really revolutionizing the center position too, because it kind of fell off for a little bit.
It did. It's been falling off since maybe 2010.
Yeah, it's been
maybe early.
It was more of like a forwards, like
Yeah, it's been about like
forwards,
those,
that type of stuff.
Yeah, like the wing players. We've had I feel like now it's a lot of guys are adapting like more to like guys like because now that everyone's like was crazy about it when like the news broke out that like. I mean, everyone was like, Kevin Durant's so tall, and everyone was like, oh, he's probably like 7 foot, which he probably is at this point. No one really. That's always been weird about his measurements ever since like that story came out. Because I remember like when he played on the USA team.
Yeah, and he was standing next to Boogie.
He was standing next to Boogie, and Boogie's like listed at 6'10", 6'11", and just Durant's just sitting there, just taller than him.
Down on him.
Yeah, like he literally was like at his nose, like DeMarcus Cousins was at his nose, and I'm just like. Are we sure that Kevin Durant's 6'9"?
It's crazy. No, it's actually, and the dude, the stuff what he does on the court is like. I remember Paolo Banchero said on JJ Redick's podcast. It's like when he was guarding Kevin Durant. He's like, that's the first time where like I was guarding somebody, and it's like he didn't even see me. Like he's just nothing hindered his shots. Like it was. If he missed it, it was because Kevin Durant missed it, not because of defense.
Not because of defense, yeah. So, I mean, it's crazy because now we see guys like that. I mean, I think a lot of the evolution, I'm not going to say blame it on them, but like a lot of the evolution when LeBron came in, Durant came in, we started seeing more of like, and I mean, we saw early too, we started to get more into guard play more, which was great because I feel like that was going to happen even though due to like evolution because, I mean, a lot back in the 80s, 90s, it was always like, a big man focus, low key. Like it was always like the guards are gonna try to get it to the big man, space it out. It was a lot of in and out. Yeah, a lot of in and out. It was all like, okay, I'm gonna give it down low. If that doesn't work, either we're cutting, getting a little layup from a guard, or passing it out and getting somebody like a 3-point shooter shooting the ball. So I think it's great to see this, and I hope this just keeps continuing because I mean this is also gonna bring a lot of attention to younger guys. Younger players and guys that are in the college scene and the high school scene that are big that are like, you know what, I can have a chance in the NBA because I'm a big guy and I could dominate down low and stuff like that. So I think it's a great thing right now, and I see the league is in good hands. That's all I gotta say. No the league is in good hands, and I like this. This MVP race is probably a really, really good MVP race because we see Jokic is going to another level, even beyond his MVP seasons that he's had, and then Joel Embiid is just going beyond seasons that he's had before. So it's going to be very, very tricky with the voting, but I think we both agree. Yeah, Jokic is going to take it away, but hey, we might be wrong. Yeah, we might be wrong, and Embiid gets it. But like I've said before, I think that fire in both of them is going to be let out at some point. Yeah, especially when it comes in the playoffs because one of them is not going to win it, and they're going to get upset. The other one's going to win it and be like, all right, next is finals. So yeah. And that's going to happen for either of them. Whoever wins it, I think Joel Embiid, if he wins it, it's going to be, all right, MVP, all right, cool, finals. Yeah. Jokic wins it, all right, cool. And I got MVP, I deserve it, finals. And then the same story, if either of them lose, it's going to be like, all right, I'm going to go into this playoffs, and I'm going to kill everybody. Yeah.
Exactly. So it's gonna be interesting to see how it plays out. I'm looking forward to the final, to the final end of like just the season, the final 10-game stretch. So it's gonna be fun to watch, man. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, great episode going in. Brian, got any last things to say?
Hopefully the Knicks keep it up. But other than that, I'm just, as a basketball fan, I'm just gonna
sit back and watch.
Yeah, sit back and watch.
This is like
man.
the prime time to watch basketball right now.
Yeah,
like NBA basketball, even college basketball. Because March Madness is starting to get into Sweet 16. So, basketball right now is great to watch.
Yeah, so, before I forget, make sure you follow the socials at hoopin.mb on both Instagram and TikTok, at hoopin_MB on Twitter, and we're also live on YouTube at Hoopin with Mike and Brian, and, we're on platforms and whatnot. And along with that, we got big things coming. Obviously, the last couple of weeks, we've had a lot going on, just a lot of stuff in our personal lives and whatnot. So we're going to have a lot more content coming soon, even when we, don't think that because we were just home. When the summer comes, we're not going to be dropping episodes. I think we'll be dropping more content.
Yes.
And, also shout out to our guy, Andre DeBaggy, and make sure you follow his content on Instagram at filmsby80. And,
yes, sir.
Mike, I'll let you take it from here.
Yeah. No, thank you again for everybody for the support and our listeners. We're still growing. We're still going to be putting out content. We're back together. We're going to finish off the semester strong with school and everything. But we're not forgetting about this. We love this thing, and we're talking every day. We're texting almost every other day, trying to figure out new things and new opportunities and everything. And I think I also got to give a shout out to the U92, the Moose, and everything, and giving us the opportunity, especially for Brian. He was able to go to the Big 12 tournament.
Dream come true, man.
Dream come true. So I was really jealous of that, but I'm very proud my guy Brian got to do that. And yeah, but thank you again for all the support. And just stay tuned. Just like us, we're just going to keep staying tuned to the NBA. Keep staying in tune with us because we're going to bring you all the content that you guys love and need and want. So thanks again. And always keep hooping.